culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Morning, sunshine. How are you doing today? Happy Wednesday, aka Happy Hump Day. Does anyone else remember that commercial featuring the camel walking around the office telling everybody happy hump day every time they hear that or they say that? Because that's always the case for me anyway. So shout out to y'all. Hope you're doing well. Stephanie's in the building. Jessica, Houston, Rose, Kristen, Venetia, Ashley, Cynthia, and there are plenty more watching who will hopefully be joining us in the chat as well. Come on, we don't bite. So Ashley, we were looking for you yesterday. I'm so happy that you're here talking about your anniversary because we were wondering how your celebrations went. Ashley said I was part of the playback posse yesterday. Grace, it was our 3rd anniversary, so he did a new leather wallet. Oh, love that. I was creating a little scrapbook thing in the bathroom. That is so sweet. Ashley, what did you get? Did you get leather as well? Like, ooh, girl, I love this for you. Congratulations and happy 3rd wedding anniversary to you guys. So glad that you had a great time celebrating. Hey, Cynthia, ACSW, Lil Miss Fluffy, AJ, Alicia, Theo, Shonda. Good morning. So is Allie here? Oh, she's not here yet, but she asked me. So Allie, in case you do the replay on any of this, how my Legree went yesterday, killer. The studio was beautiful. It was literally a 4-minute walk from my place. Absolutely stunning. And the girl, she's like the cutest little thing. She's probably like 5'2" or something like that. And she she just seems so chill and stuff, but she has like rock hard abs. And then she really worked us. I was like begging for mercy and I'm still sore after all of that. So I think I'm going to go do the sauna at my regular gym to try and relax my muscles a little bit because I do have a second session, not at that studio because I use ClassPass. So I bounce around up in Pigalle, which is one of my favorite arrondissements or districts in Paris. It's up in the 9th. So I got to go to the sauna. I'll see how my muscles feel. And if I feel good, I'll head over there tomorrow. If not, I'll cancel it and then, wait for next week or later on in the weekend or something. Hi, Ranghild. Nice to see you from Norway. Wow, so cool. Hello. Leah's in the building. Leah, your hair is such a beautiful color. Oh my God. Wow, you look like a fairy princess. I love that. And that purple is so beautiful on you. Hi, Kahara. Nice to see you. And Karma, Melinda, good morning, everybody. We've got so about in today's morning report. Jax Taylor from Vanderpump Rules has admitted to having a coke addiction. His estranged wife Brittany is responding to it, and she seems to be thinking that there's a lot of BS going on in regards to whether or not he is actually trying to kick his addiction. Janelle Evans from Teen Mom, her ex, August Keene, is saying that she's refusing to pay her son Jace Evans' medical bills. Oh yeah, they really have been going at it. It's crazy. And this one blindsided me. When I was on TMZ last night, I saw the story come through. I said, now that's random. Do y'all remember? Oh, did I get pictures of them? I hope I did. Do you remember the SHAHS of Sunset on Bravo TV? Well, and Golnessa, how psycho that lady is. Well, she's got herself into some more trouble. Paulina, who used to date Mike and actually filed a restraining order against him, and I think DV charges against him and everything like that. She's filing restraining order papers against Golnessa because Golnessa apparently jumped her at the mall. Gypsy Rose is trying to meet with Donald Trump to talk about prison reform. Alec Baldwin is being dragged by the late Halyna Hutchins' family attorney. And what else? Janelle Evans is also urging kids, especially to date people their own age, and she's opening up about her relationship with Jace's father. Jace's father was, I believe, in his 20s when she and he got together. She knew that he was in his 20s and she was only about 16 years old. So she's talking about that. I've got the video. Our beloved Jennifer Hudson got hit in the head at an NBA game with a basketball. Justin Baldoni suffered a setback in his lawsuit against the New York Times as well. So stay tuned, buckle up. We've got an awful lot to talk about. I know that yesterday I kind of like ran off a little bit quickly because I misscheduled my time, but today I've got nothing but time to discuss with you guys. So buckle up, okay, you guys? And I definitely will stuff, because, sometimes you look back at photos where you thought you were like chubby or something. I was actually just doing that before going live. I was looking at my Instagram at some pictures of an era and I was like, really? Like, look, what? So I do have to like remember to take photos, appreciate the little moments, and he's awesome. Yes, go for it. It is so fun. I love going, keeping up with the gym and everything like that. It just, especially during the winter, it really gets your mind off of how gloomy everything is. Good morning, Jaleesa, as well. So why don't we dig into our first story? Okay, you guys, what was our first story? Jax Taylor. Was anyone else surprised to see him actually full-blown admit to being a coke addict? Because I thought it was like an open secret, like that. Here's my thing. I never thought that he was a full-blown addict, right? And it was always pretty obvious that the people on these reality shows, especially VPR, dabbled in the booger sugar, dabbled in the MDMA, dabbled in the shrooms, drank way too much, but I never saw them as actually having full-blown addiction problems, with the exception of James and Lala, right? Two people who have fessed up to having these problems. So I was particularly surprised about this. He was on a Bravo Hot Mic podcast when he opened up saying, and I quote, "I have substance issues primarily with coke. It's hard to say out loud. I've been dealing with this on and off since I was 23 and now I'm 45. There was times when I would stop doing it, but then there were times where I'd go heavy on it. I don't know. Wow. Is that why he needed like the 3-4 nose jobs to like repair the damage?" Speaking of, I did see a TikTok video. I was just like minding my own business, mindlessly scrolling. And I remember stumbling upon a TikTok video of a girl and her face was completely disfigured, like just completely like from here to here. And she said that it was because she was an avid coke user and it destroyed. And I had seen a man too, where like this, like called Manila, disappeared too, because he was just ravaging it, right? So I just never saw that in these people. I thought they were just, casual social users of this. But wow, good on Jax for actually full-blown opening up. And he says, listen, it has been kind of obvious on the show. The audience could kind of tell that I was on something. Obviously, production and other people, they didn't know what I was doing. Everything I was doing was on my own, but I was just on that train and I couldn't get off. Well, here's the thing. I do think that production knew, because he was doing this out in the open. In fact, on his wedding day, if you go back and watch that episode, he actually had like some of that stuff on the table as he was preparing. So this man was doing lines, chopping it up on his wedding day. Okay, so like they knew, right? Steph says most of Hollywood love the devil's dandruff. Some handle it better than others. I agree. So this is why I'm so shocked that like it really spiraled to that level. I really truly thought that it was just like a casual, social thing, or when they were filming or partying or whatever. But wow, to actually have a full-blown dependency on this, it must be miserable. Absolutely miserable. Good morning, Monica, to Disha. Theo says, I think many of the VPR cast partook. Exactly. You see it. I remember seeing a scene where Katie particularly had like a lot of it, allegedly had a lot of it. In my opinion, it looked like she had like, and I'll find that picture and post it for you guys in my community. Should I post it in my community tab, or will people who don't watch this not really get it? You know what I'll do? I'll get the screenshot and then we'll talk about it in Thursday's morning report. Okay, you guys, because there was a moment where you see her and she's raging out at Tom, I believe, and she's got something in her nose and it's like this white thing, and I wonder what else it could have been. But come on now, they all have these crazy dilated pupils, and you saw that very often with Jax. Jax always had what appeared to be coke rage, so this really isn't any kind of a surprise. So he says that he has been trying to cut alcohol to help him stay clean from coke. Quote, people ask, do you have an alcohol problem too? I don't necessarily think I have an alcohol problem, but the two go hand in hand. I can't do coke without drinking, so I just gave up both. I'm proud to say I'm 83 days sober right now, which is the longest I've gone in my life without either. You know what, Jax, congratulations to you. Listen, it's not easy to have an addiction, right? It's even less easy to open up and be honest, especially this publicly, about having those sorts of problems, especially when you are co-parenting with somebody and the custody of your child is on the line. Like he is saying these things openly, clearly, at the risk of losing time with his child and at the risk of having, other issues down the line, right? So, I really do applaud him for that. He says he really wants people to know that this is a really tough disease and it's a really tough sickness. I have never said this in my life. So to come out and say that I have an addiction and that I have a sickness I have to work on for the rest of my life is a really big deal for me. Obviously, it's a huge weight lifted off of my shoulders. And so congratulations to him on opening up about that. If I recall correctly, he recently went to a treatment facility, although he never said that it was for this issue or addiction in particular. I believe it was something like a mood disorder, bipolar, or something like that. But I wonder if that's what really was the reason and that he wasn't ready at that time to open up about it. But now he is setting the record straight. So, either way, whatever he's doing to heal himself of this, I applaud him certainly. Now, speaking of custody issues and his ex-wife, or estranged wife, they're not yet divorced, Brittany is speaking out saying that she's skeptical of Jax Taylor's sobriety, you guys, which is a little surprising to me. She says, and I quote, "I pray that one day he completely knocks this addiction. His behaviors are still alarming and his treatment plan seems to be the bare minimum." So she's not exactly here for it. Guys, what really happened with these two people? Jax was always, and I keep telling you guys this, but I am on season 6 of my Vanderpump Rules rewatch. I really love that show, so I'm happy to be able to rewatch it. And from the very beginning of this relationship, like, she knew that he was a mess and that like he cheated on women, treated them like garbage, and that he had these, issues of like partying too hard and stuff like that. So, and it didn't seem to be a deal breaker, right? Like he cheated on her a couple times and it was fine. So what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Is it the fact that she didn't expect for it to happen after marriage, or what? I'm really, really curious. Jaleesa says that Jax gave Brittany full custody months ago. Well, okay, so if she's got full custody, they're about to divorce. What is like, is he not visiting the child enough? Like, you know what? It looks like, unfortunately, I might have to go ahead and start tuning into The Valley. Is that what's going to get me the answers on what's really going on between the two of them? Okay, I'll have to, you know what? At a certain point, I'm going to have to set aside a little block of time and see what's going on over there on The Valley that really led to the dissolution of this marriage. Jaleesa, why did it piss you off? So she's acting like the victim, right? Like, I don't know. I'm really curious about what happened. So I'm going to have to go ahead, watch The Valley and see what's been going on. Jaleesa says it's a good show. Okay, listen, I'll take your word for it and I'll take it out and check it out and see what that's all about. East says Brittany went for Jax because he was very masculine and attractive. He left her, but he was so mean to her. Like he used to drag her in front of the friends, in front of her family. He was cheating on her. Like, I just do not get it. It's crazy. Hey, Joy, nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Trace, I want to welcome some of our new channel members, by the way. Shout out to you, Tracy. Sweet bonjour as well. Thank you guys so much for joining the channel membership. I'm so happy to have you here. I posted some photos in the channel membership this morning from my trip to the boulangerie when I was in Pigalle. There's a boulangerie there that's really popular. If you guys ever come here, it's in the 9th. It's called Mamiche, and it's just the cutest thing. I went, got a brioche, I got a croissant, and I got a cappuccino. And so I shared some pictures of that. And then this floral shop with all these giant teddy bears and stuff. So check it out. And more videos to come soon. Computer Robot says, is it real? Janelle Rogers Eason is not paying for her son's medical bills. Was it for Jace or Kaiser? Listen, it's alleged as of now by her most recent ex, August. And we're going to get into that a little bit. You know what? I think that might actually be my next story. So we're going to get into that right about now. So thank you for the segue. Okay. Why don't we talk about it? Janelle, girl, what is wrong with you? Why was this ever in September, Spring, Summer's name in the first place? This is your child. How many stories are we hearing about this man getting overly involved in your parenting stuff? Like, you were only dating him for a couple of months, yet he was so involved. It's weird. Like, it seems like she's always so anxious and willing and ready to to pawn the responsibility of her kids off on the latest man that she's dating. And the thing about Janelle is she likes to date a lot, which isn't a problem. But when you're involving your children in this stuff and you're making them too familiar with your children too soon, it can get extremely dangerous. So now, by the way, August has been making bank off of this breakup. And the man has been selling story after story after story to OK Magazine. And I low-key want to know how much they pay, because it must pay well the way that he is selling them back to back. Okay. And that's not shade to him. Listen, you might be entitled to compensation for your pain and suffering. Okay. So let's take a look at what he told OK Magazine about Janelle allegedly refusing to pay the medical expenses for her own son, Jace. Quote, I took Jace to the hospital one day because Janelle kept refusing to take him. Oh, because she was always too high and he had a messed up hand. So imagine that. Your son has a hand that is in pain, it's damaged or something, and you can't take him to the hospital because you're too damn high. And so your random boyfriend of a couple months has to take your child to the hospital. This is very Janelle. So far, I believe him. It was a constant battle. And I kept telling her he needs to go to the hospital. He's in pain. His hand looks messed up, but she kept putting it off. So this wasn't even just one time. This kept on happening. Oh, Lord. Okay. When Evans headed to North Carolina for court, okay, so he decided to take Jace to the hospital when Janelle went to North Carolina to fight David on him trespassing on her property. Quote, as the adult, I had to sign off for it. So the bill for the hospital went under my name. I've been asking her to pay for it for months and months now, and she's refusing to pay for her own child's medical expenses and expects me to pay for it. So is that why, like, she didn't want to take Jace to the hospital or to the doctor because she didn't want to pay for it? Does she not have health insurance for her children? She talks about making a lot of money off of OnlyFans. Guys, how much money does she claim to make off of OnlyFans? Doesn't she claim to make like $40K a month or something like that? So anywhere from 20 to 40, 50K a month. Like, you would think that would be enough money, and it is enough money, right, to buy even private health insurance, right? So what's the deal with that? And how do you allow for your child to be in pain for so long? Because here's the thing about Janelle. One thing about Janelle, if she gets even dust in her eye, she's going to go to the freaking hospital and she's going to demand every single test that they can do. Paper cut, give me a freaking MRI. Open up this finger. We need a full-blown evaluation, So the idea that her son's hand was visibly looking like, it was damaged or, could have been sprained, could have been injured or anything like that. And she wasn't bothered. Meanwhile, she is constantly bombarding us with photos and videos of her at the hospital for no reason, for her own stuff. That's crazy to me. That's crazy, right? Like, what? Okay. Very, very weird. Again, all of this is just alleged for now. Hey, Maddie. But it doesn't sound too far off from the Janelle that we know, does it? Right? Because even this was a similar thing, and thank you, Hamlets, for bringing up Ensley. Remember, Ensley, she had always sounded like she had an issue with her throat. Like she sounded congested and like something was wrong. And so Janelle's followers on social media, particularly on TikTok, would kept telling her, Janelle, take your daughter to the damn doctor. We think there's something wrong with her throat. Like she shouldn't be this congested all the time. And this was for years, you guys, that people were telling her that. And then she finally takes her child to the doctor. And what does the doctor tell her? She needs a surgery. And I imagine that she probably did not need a surgery if Janelle would have brought her in sooner, right? So she didn't take the daughter in. Did I lie? Did I effing lie? Like if she took her daughter in sooner, she probably wouldn't have needed that surgery, right? So this to me sounds on par with who Janelle is, who and what Janelle is, right? Anyway. Let's continue. By the way, I'm going to get into your comments right after this, by the way, you guys, because I wanted to finish what August had to say before I forget, because y'all know the way that sometimes I just go off track. So let me get back into it. So August said that the hospital keeps messaging him to pay the bill, which will only hurt his credit. Therefore, he is asking Janelle to help him out. to which she allegedly replied, "And tell him I said he's not my daddy and can't tell me what to do. Be a man and call the hospital to deal with it yourself. Dumb A mother effer piece of S." She needs to step up as a mother and take care of her kids and stop expecting for everyone else to step up and play the parent. Just like my relationship with her, I was the one going to all the parent conferences. And this is something I'd been hearing for a while and dealing with the kids' school stuff when they got in trouble because she was always too high to give an ish and go herself. Well, here's the question, August. Why were you dating this girl? You know, what are you doing? And, you know, I do have the receipts that August shared. So give me one quick second. I'm going to screenshot it here so that I can upload onto my StreamYard. But I had heard this already, on in his defense that this was happening, that he was going to all of the parent teacher things. But like, why? You're a child. What is your purpose of being with somebody like this? I think, yeah, Janelle, like we already know that she is kind of like useless, right? As a parent, it seems like she just can't be bothered with a lot of things when it comes to these children, it seems like. So what part of that is even attractive? And that she's always got these like charges either against her or against men. Like there's always some kind of drama, especially legal drama. And August is claiming to be this big time manager, right? For a lot of like artists and great big people, wasn't he like congratulating his clients on their Grammy Award wins? So how would somebody who has this supposed like big business, who's associated with these big stars, how does somebody like that end up with a Janelle Evans of all people, right? Very, very odd choice of partner. Why would you burden yourself with all of this? Just walk away, say, this is a neglectful person. I don't want to be drawn into this mess. And, I could do better than this. This is a mess, right? He's also claiming that the kids would call Janelle in emergencies, but that Janelle would never answer. So they would end up calling him to deal with the problem. So before we get into that, why don't we get into the receipts that August provided in regards to the medical bills? Okay, so I've got the photo up here and you can see the text messages that are coming. Hills Hospital Medical. The emergency service is previously past due to view your bill. So these are the messages that he is being inundated with about, allegedly about Jace's health, right? But at the end of the day, we can't verify, I can't at least verify that that's what this is about. This very well could be about anybody's medical stuff. This could be about his own medical stuff. I don't know, so, but that's what he's claiming they are bombarding him about. But I, personally, I think I would like to see a little bit more proof, perhaps like him signing him in or something like that, although that's not our business, but very, very odd stuff, yeah, Ali, CPS. Oh Lord, they have visited this woman so many times and they still cannot be half-assed to do any like thing permanent about the situation. Unfortunately, like so long as these kids are not starving to death, you can keep them. You can keep on, allegedly, seemingly neglecting them if you want. So long as they're not starving to death, all is well. So long as they have a roof, they're good, and it's very, very, very sad. Quote, Janelle would get mad at the schools for them calling her so much, and she would have meltdowns that the principal or after school programs would call her. If it wasn't for me, she probably wouldn't have her kids right now. Her lack of respect for me is getting old, and I'm losing my patience with her harassment and her stalking me. It's a daily thing with her. She won't leave me and my people alone. And on top of it all, she's continuing to spread lies and run with the same narrative that got her dumped and filed against. She needs to take accountability for her own children and pay this hospital bill. I would take care of it, but she doesn't deserve that from me. Listen, if this story is true, then bravo to you, August, for taking Jace to the hospital and putting your own money on the line for that. Because I heard American healthcare costs a lot. How much money do you think that costs? Would it be in the thousands for you? I don't know, right? So I've heard that costs a lot. So bravo to him for doing that, seeing a child in pain and saying, hey, the person who's supposed to be responsible for this child isn't going to step up, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. It sucks that it's backfired on him in that the mother is not trying to reimburse him. She can't be bothered about this, but at least he did the right thing, right? Ali says it sounds neglectful. I agree. If the story is true, this is a very, very, very neglectful way to treat your son. And it's very sad, especially when you personally are constantly in and out of doctor, what do you call it? Guys, I'm on my, what do you call that lady? Hilaria Baldwin. What do you call the doctor's offices in and out of hospitals for yourself, like at any minor inconvenience. But for your son, he could be in a lot of pain and you don't care. Weird. Computer Robot says, I think the reason why Janelle treats Kaiser so bad, he reminds her of Nathan. Listen, I think she treats all these kids bad. I do, it's not funny, but I think she treats all of these kids poorly just because she's not a kid person, and this is the thing about trying to act like everybody needs to have kids. No, everybody doesn't need to. So people just don't like them, so when people who don't like kids have kids, this seems to be the result of it, right? Linda says, I hope Jace writes a book when he's 18. Listen, anything he can do to finance his life and get ahead, because with Janelle as a parent, that really, really stunts a lot of his options in life, and it's very, very sad. She's not someone that's going to be pushing for an education for him. She's someone who has already traumatized him a lot in life. And so just dealing and unwinding and unpacking all of that trauma already as it is going to be an awful lot. Houston Rose says that who is this? This is August, was benefiting from her money. It was always come down to that. That's why he settled. I did hear something about that. And one thing about Janelle is she does like, dropping a bag on her men. Wasn't it said that she helped get a car or something like that for him? I wonder. I don't know. It's an awful lot. Good morning to you, Ronnie, and happy Ash Wednesday to you as well, Susan. Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you all here. Stephanie says, be careful out here because a lot of people here that seem cool at first, then you learn the hard way. When it's too late, and especially if they had kids who get attached, you feel so bad to leave. Exactly. These poor kids have been exposed to way, way too many makeshift stepfathers, and it's sad. Lena says it probably costs about $10,000. Oh my God. Here, if you don't have insurance and you just go you can go to Dr. Lib. If ever you're here in France, right, and something happens, you don't have travel insurance or whatever, go to drlib.fr, make an appointment. You can even make a same day appointment. See a doctor. You know how much it's going to cost you? Like 30 euros. So the idea of 10K is insane, right? Gwen says, okay, Janelle is like the worst. This list is endless, but why do all the guys expect accolades for doing what most women do every day? Great question, right? Great question. August seems like he's trying to extend his 15 minutes. And I agree. He keeps on selling stories to OK Magazine. I don't, I feel like they're paying him a good amount of money, and that's why he's continuing with this. Like, he has sold many, many stories, and this is just like maybe the second one that I've picked up personally because there's just too many. A lot of them are just like nonsense, right? I think he's getting paid to talk about this stuff. So, there's that, right? And exactly, I agree with you, Ronnie, on that subject. Well, listen, we do have another Janelle Evans story to go over, but that's going to come a little bit later. We need a little bit of a Janelle break. Let's talk about another person who's a little bit bunny boiler crazy, okay? It's none other than Golnesa from the SHAHS of Sunset. So do y'all remember this show on Bravo? I actually really, really love this show. It's sad that it got canceled, but she's the one on the right for those of you who are not familiar. Paulina is the one on the left. Paulina is filing a temporary restraining order against Golnesa, and she's accusing Golnesa of jumping her at Bloomingdale's, which is a very, very high-end department store. So basically, the two of them saw each other there. I guess maybe Golnesa was stalking her and like purposely found her there. This reported incident allegedly happened on February 28th. And Paulina says that Gigi approached her, forced her to walk out of the store for a chat, out of the sight of store security cameras. As they walked, Paulina claims that Gigi started insulting her, like, how does it feel to be a hooer? I'm going to F you up. And again, this is another psycho person, right, that you see on TV. So far, everything checks out to Gigi's personality based off of what I've seen of her on Bravo. Like, the girl is nuts. She's nuts, okay, in my opinion. So now Paulina further says that this is when Gigi started going effing crazy. They passed a mall security guard. Gigi said, oh, you think this toy cop is going to protect you? He can't do ish. And then Paulina called her fiance. I wonder who that is. It better not be Mike, Paulina. It better not be Mike. And begged Gigi let her go. But Gigi simply said, no, I have been waiting for this day. And that is when Gigi allegedly started recording the interaction and then hit her in the face with the phone. And Paulina says that she started fighting back at this point, tossed aside Gigi's phone, but that Gigi struck back by grabbing a chunk of her hair. And that's when the security guard jumped in, broke up the fight, telling them that cops were on the way. And then apparently Gigi then says something to the effect of, how does it feel to have, and this is a trigger warning because this gets really ugly, you know, and I read this yesterday and I completely forgot about this part, but it did like trigger a visceral reaction of, wow, why would you say that to somebody? So be warned. This is where Paulina is saying that Gigi says, how does it feel to have an R-word daughter? And Paulina got away from her at this point, and Gigi allegedly said, I'm not done with you. And Paulina said that after this incident, she immediately went to report it to the police. And so she's requesting a restraining order against Gigi. If this is true, this is so ugly. This is so psychotic. And I'm sad that I believe it 100%, you know, like I've watched SHAHS of Sunset over several seasons, almost every single one. And just based off of what Gigi has shown us of her character or lack thereof, this to me is very believable. And Gigi, if it's not true, then you need to, you know, take a look at the way you've represented yourself, that so many people can think that this is true, right? Very scary stuff. And I feel especially bad for Paulina because she was already a victim of her ex, right? Mike Shued, another cast member of SHAHS of Sunset. And he was on video just throwing her around in their shared home in the closet. And so just the fact that she went through that, now she allegedly went through this as well. Like, I really, really feel bad for the girl. She seems like a really sweet person. So, wow. Theo says, wow, that's crazy. I agree. Tadisha says, Gigi's foul for attacking Paulina and then calling her child, yeah, the R word. Dude, that is so ugly. You know, why does she even have beef with Paulina? Is it on behalf of Mike? Especially after the video we saw of Mike throwing her around in the house? Like, why would you fight for a man like that? And then why bring her child into things? That's so ugly. And I agree, Allie. The girl is nuts. I still remember her with the knife and everything and all of those shotgun weird marriages and stuff. Like, I think that she's got an undiagnosed sort of personality disorder. And the longer it goes undiagnosed, the worse it's going to get because she, in my opinion, I think she needs to be medicated. Malen says it's because Pauline is with Gigi's ex-boyfriend. Is that why all this over a man? Gigi, how many ex-boyfriends do you have? You have like 20 ex-boyfriends. Sure enough, one of them is going to end up with somebody that you know. It's a very, very small community, right? A lot of them like to date Persian men. And, you know, in Beverly Hills, and this is something they talk about on the show, the Persian community is small and close-knit. Everybody knows everybody. And so, come on now. Like, it's fine. It's not a huge deal, right? Gigi is so ghetto. Money doesn't buy class. She is so ratchet. Indeed. Oh, yeah. She's still being crazy, apparently, you guys. What is happening? What is happening? My God. Anyway, I really hope they bring this show back onto Bravo because it was such a good show. It really, really was. I want to see it back, you guys. Jack says, can you guys help Jack out with this? I have heard this rumor as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was mentioned in a book. Somebody's book, maybe it was the Ashley's book, had mentioned that Janelle had left Jace on a drug dealer's porch or something like that. But I don't think it's something that happened on the show, but maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can y'all please help Jack out in the chat, or if you're part of the playback posse, let him help him out or her. I don't know. This is a pretty unisex skeleton. Help out in the comment section. Okay, you guys. Gigi says, Gigi has always been very violent and scary. What she said to Paulina was very, very low, right? Isn't it so damn ugly? And yes, it's true. She tried to come for Lala too. She's always on the wrong side. She's such a pick-me, a very violent pick-me. Oh, yuck, the worst kind. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Georgia. Nice to see you guys here. You know what? I'm going to take a quick break to finally drink some water. You're hearing all of these awkward pauses because I need to drink water, but I don't know where to like stop and breathe, okay? So if you guys are just joining us, welcome to the Morning Report. We go live every single weekday morning to talk about the day's hottest topics. So of course, we'll continue to go live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, and then again next week per usual. Give me one quick second. I'm going to get a drink of water. We do have some words from some of our sponsors. If you're enjoying this episode, don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the flip
The
side.
Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.
All right. Thank you guys very much for your patience. I am now hydrated and ready to continue. I did see a comment come through from Nomsa. Hi, Nomsa. Nomsa says, I always get a notification for a new morning video from you every day at 4:30 p.m. just before I get ready to leave work. It's an afternoon dose for me all the way in Swaziland, Africa. Wow. Thanks so much for watching us from Swaziland, Nomsa. That is so amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys, why don't we get into the Gypsy Rose story? She's really been doing a lot of talking lately, and I think it's because she wants to make sure to have a good amount of viewership for season 2 of her show, Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. And I really want to know if that is something that you guys are going to be tuning into. I really enjoyed season 1. I know she's controversial. However, I really, really like the show. I'm fascinated by this entire story. And I think that season 2 is most likely going to be even more interesting because we're going to uncover the paternity scandal drama. And she already told People magazine that her husband or ex-husband, Ryan, is refusing to fully get out of the picture. So I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how all of that unfolds. And Francine says, I really feel for Paulina. I've been through similar to what she went through with Mike. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that, Francine. That's the thing about reality TV, right? It's that a lot of times, these things that you're seeing play out, they can be triggering to people because these are things that a lot of people go through in their life, unfortunately, right? Like DV or just, violence in general and just other things, substance abuse in Jax Taylor's case and stuff. So I totally understand your connection to her. And it was really, really devastating to watch that video and just to think that someone who went through that could have went through something like this with Golnessa as well. I really, truly hope it's not true, but I don't see any reason for Paulina to lie. But I hate that for her. I really, really do. She's been through so much. And so I just really wish her peace, and you as well, Francine, and anybody else who's gone through anything like this, because it's just not fair. It really isn't. And good morning to you as well, Zendile. So nice to see you. And yes, Kelly, we are indeed live. Now, I did promise you guys Gypsy Rose. So why don't we see what she's saying? It's a very quick story. She was at LAX airport on Monday when TMZ came up to her to ask her how she'd feel about sitting down with Donald Trump for a meeting on prison reform. And can I just tell y'all, I think that Gypsy Rose called or tipped TMZ off that she would be at the airport. Here's one thing I learned with all my time going in and out of LAX when I used to work for an American company. It's that these people, paparazzi, they're not just sitting there, all day, every day, waiting for someone to, potentially, they're tipped off, right? So I think this is part of her campaign for season 2 of her show where she tips them off. Hey, I'm going to be at LAX. Come ask me about prison reform. And so they show up. She's signing autographs. Who the hell is asking her for autographs? I don't know, but she's signing autographs. And she said that she would love to have the opportunity to sit down with Donald Trump. She really wants to be an advocate for the mental health of inmates. She says that her mom put her through a lot of trauma before she eventually, deleted her in 2015. And she didn't have much access to mental health when she was behind bars. And that's something that she really wanted for inmates to have that she wasn't able to have. So listen, okay, girl. Listen, I don't know if they need you to help with that. I don't know what your qualifications are other than that you were a graduated inmate. Maybe team up with someone in the legal field. Because, as much as people knock her, right? Hey, Mel, as much as people knock Kim Kardashian, she did team up with lawyers, right, a legal team and stuff to help with the cases of the people that she helped free. You know, she wasn't just doing this as like an aspiring law student or whatever she considers herself. So I do think that if Gypsy Rose is serious about this, then she probably should go ahead, team up with a law firm or something, or not even a law firm, but team up with like mental health advocates or something like that, right? And Allie, and go ahead and, you know, try to put this in motion, right? I don't know. Hamlin says, what mental health is she getting now that she's out? Oh, good question. I do remember her sitting down with a therapist in one episode of her show. I don't know if they've since had other sessions or anything like that, but yeah, I've heard, I saw it on the show, but you know, again, it could have been for TV. I don't know. Hamlet says, if she's seeing one, she needs a freaking dream. And I agree with that. Stephanie is not here for Gypsy. Houston Rose says, why am I getting Casey Anthony vibes from Gypsy? You know, I feel like she, Gypsy, and Janelle, they're all, to me, they're kind of like the same person, but in different fonts, as the people like to say. And Allie, oh my God, qualified to help. She's not qualified to help a paper bag. I low-key agree. Listen, she's got to team up with the right people if that's something that she wants to do. Now, why don't we get into Alec Baldwin? Y'all know how I've been talking about his show, right? The Baldwins over on TLC. Like, they just put out 2 episodes of it so far. I've been finding it fascinating. I think it's a case study on Hilaria and her grift of like being a fake Spanish woman. And so for that, that's the only reason I'm really watching it. But the lawyer for the woman who was unfortunately killed or shot during the filming of Alec Baldwin's movie Rust, Gloria Allred, is speaking out, and she really is not happy about the show or the ways in which Alec and Hilaria are using the shooting as a way to talk about or show their kind of like life and stuff. And so I really wanted to go ahead and share that with you. She says that they're just profiting off of the pain of Halyna Hutchins' family. Her direct quote says, and I says, the Baldwin show celebrates Mr. Baldwin's joy of being with his children while ignoring the fact that Alec Baldwin took a child away from her parents. Well, his parents. She had a son. That is a painful and actual reality with which Halyna's parents and sister live each and every day. Apparently, Alec Baldwin hasn't even apologized to Halyna's family for his involvement in her 2021 death and has taken no responsibility. So that's something that they are particularly upset about. Gloria also goes on to say that Halyna lost her life in the most unthinkable strategy. A son lost his mom. We're going to feel and carry this pain forever. This will be a part of our family story. The Baldwin show fails to mention the family story of Halyna's parents and sister, who are the ones in real life that are forced to feel and carry the pain forever in a way that neither Baldwin appears to have felt or understood. She's also saying that Alec Baldwin plays the victim by discussing his feelings about his criminal trial, having Hilaria claim that he suffers from PTSD, and bringing cameras into their therapy sessions and talking about how he wanted to off himself and is suffering from survivor's guilt. So I wonder if you guys agree with that take. When I was talking about episode 2 in yesterday's episode of the Morning Report, I said that, you know, and that was the episode in which like they really, really talked about it and how difficult it was for them as a family to be awaiting Alec's trial. They said, and Hilaria specifically said that although it's difficult, right, the situation that they're in, it pales in comparison to what Halyna's family is going through, and the fact that Halyna, at the center of all of this, lost her own life. So to me, it's not as if they've completely erased her or anything like that. However, I do understand where Halyna Hutchins' family is coming from. And this is something that I think Theo, you brought up this comment in yesterday's episode where you said that you were surprised that they got the show. And then I said that I think the only reason they got the show is because of the shooting, right? Like he and Hilaria Cucumber, they've been in the press for a very, very long time, for several years. And this is the only time it seems like that they've been offered to go on TV. Like, I think it's in connection with the shooting. So I do understand where Halyna Hutchins' family is coming from and saying that they're profiting off of it. You know, I think that maybe if they even were offered other opportunities to be on TV, then maybe they didn't do it because they didn't need the money the way that they need it now. But based off of all the legal fees that Alec has racked up in this whole thing. Like maybe now, like in maybe a desperation or a perceived desperation for cash, they've gone ahead and done this. One of the things that Alec talked about on the show was how a lot of jobs like dried up in the midst of all of this, and like people turned their backs on him and stuff. And so I don't know, it's very complicated. Ronnie, Karma are saying that, you know, they feel bad for everyone involved and Alec Baldwin and stuff. And I do agree. You know, I think that he was a victim in all of this as well. He was just an actor. There was someone whose job was specifically to make sure that this was safe to use, right? He's not the one who brought a live bullet onto the set. He's not the armorer. Like there were steps for this to go through before reaching him. And although safety concerns were flagged, it's still at the end of the day, the fault of the people who brought that to the set and to the armorer for not taking a look at this, you know, and that's why she's in jail, right? What was her name again? Something Gutierrez. I forgot her full name. But overall, it's a very, very sad tragedy. Did we ever find out who actually brought the live guns to the set, you guys? Like the live bullets to the set? What was that about? Like, that's so crazy. Kelly first saw Alec Baldwin on Knots landing back in the 90s. You know, I've never even heard of that. I'm sorry. You know, I was trying to figure out like how big of a star Alec Baldwin was. I said, I've heard of 30 Rock, but is he A-list? Is he B-list? Like what list would you guys put Alec Baldwin on? Because I don't know what list that, like he's got name recognition, right? Just like Stephen Baldwin's got name recognition, but I don't know. Like, are they big stars to you guys? I don't know. Theo says, I would think the only reason they got the show is because Cucumber Baldwin was begging for it and Alec finally caved in, right? I think it has to do with money. You know, they're paying a lot for his legal defense fund. He said a lot of jobs dried up. He wasn't getting a lot of jobs the way that he was getting prior. And so I think that all of that compounded into what we're seeing today, right? And I agree with Karma. Accidentally deleting someone has to be traumatic, right? Like at the end of the day, a lot of celebrities move into reality TV, and I think that it's better for them to do the show, talk about the pain. You know, if he wasn't feeling anything and he didn't talk about it all, that would be a complaint too. It feels like sometimes people can never do anything right, you know. So I do feel bad for him. I do believe him that he's suffering from PTSD. I do believe him that he's suffering from survivor's guilt. I really do, and it's sad. Theo doesn't feel bad for him. He has a history of being rude and violent. And yeah, that's the thing with Alec Baldwin. That is true. He always did have a big reputation of being a particularly mean and kind of feisty, angry person. So I do agree with that as well. Okay, y'all. Okay, apparently he was big in the 80s. Although I'm hearing that he was a gimmick actor. Wasn't he also doing the parodies of like Donald Trump or something like that? I don't know. I've also heard that Alec was rude, just saying, yeah, I still remember him. Didn't he like punch a paparazzi guy in New York or something like that? I remember that too. There's like something going on there. Brandy says Alec was huge back in the day. Listen, y'all, thank you so much for like putting me up to par. Cause you know, Kelly, I had never even heard of this. And now I'm hearing that it's a huge show that lasted 10 years and stuff. Like, thank you guys for putting me up on game. I'm not in the stratosphere of stuff. So it's really, really cool to get to learn about it through you guys' eyes. Now, you remember how we started off the show with the Janelle? Hang on, let me drink. Oh, why am I like this? Hang on, let me drink my water. You know how we started off the show with one Janelle Evans story, and I said, hang on, we're gonna have a second one. Get ready for the second one. I'm gonna drink my water. Just Janelle, can you watch them for a second? Don't move, you guys. Janelle, can you watch them for a second? I'm gonna drink my water. Watch them. All right, here goes. Janelle Evans has taken to her TikTok account has taken to her TikTok account to warn people, particularly children, against speaking to older people online. She said, y'all need to stop talking to them older men, right? Thinking you're grown. Date people your own age. And so she shared the story of how she met Jace's dad. Remember, Jace's dad is a man named Andrew, and he was like in his 20s when he got with Janelle, and Janelle was like 15, 16 years old or something like that. And yes, he talks about that a little bit in his show as well. He really downplays what he did to their daughter, Ireland. And that's one thing I can't stand. You guys' reaction to that photo is cracking me up. Hamlet says, don't trust her with her. That one in particular, where is it? Where is it? Don't trust her with us. That one in particular cracked me up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I needed a little break, and there was no one else around to watch you. There was no one else around. Karma says she doesn't even watch her own kid. Janelle, I'm sorry. Listen, I thought you were responsible. I trusted you with my audience, and you know how much I love my audience, but sorry, they don't want to be watched by you. I'm going to have to hire them a different babysitter. So take a look at the video that Janelle posted to her TikTok page where she warns young people about the dangers of going online and getting into relationships with older people, okay? Here goes.
I saw this comment, saw myself tagged in this video, so I figured I'd answer. This comment is referring back to a video about me and Jace's father's age gap. It's about 6 years apart. So what ended up happening is I met Jace's dad on Facebook, and it recommended him to me as new people in the area. So I added him. We talked for about 2 months, and then I ended up meeting him. He never lied about his age, and I basically didn't care, and I lied to my mom about his age. And once my mom found out, she was very mad, and she did try to press charges on him, but they never ended up following through. Looking back on this time in my life, being a mom of 3, I would freak out if Ensley or any of my kids put themselves in that situation. And if my sons tried to date anyone that was that young and they were in their 20s, I'd be like, what are you doing? So yeah, I don't condone my behavior. My advice to people is date people your own age or close to your own age, because let me tell you, it will work out in the long run. I've dated people that are always older than me, and it's just, we didn't connect on the same level. But kids, use my experience as your life lesson, please. Don't do it.
Listen, I'm really happy that she has put out that PSA because it's creepy. And thank you, Kelly. So apparently Janelle was 13 when she met 19-year-old Andrew. There's no reason for a 19-year-old to be attracted to a 13-year-old. Like, that's disturbing. There's nothing, there shouldn't even be friends, right? Like, a 13-year-old and you're a step away from 20, and they are a step past being 10 years old. What do you have in common? Like, that is just so disturbing, so disgusting on Andrew's part. Like, as the adult in this situation, he should have put a stop to the communication, and he certainly should not have slept with her. Or I don't think you're even sleeping with an underage person. He should not have raped her, right? Like, that full stop was unacceptable, and I feel really bad for her that was a situation that she was in, that she thought it was normal and okay. And I feel bad for Barbara. She was horrified when she found out about that as well. Tiff, Janelle has been cutting up. Leave us alone. My people love Janelle stories. As much as they dislike Janelle, they love Janelle stories. And I completely agree, Georgia. And yup, it's giving to catch a predator indeed, Theo. Tiffany says Janelle is an unfit mom. In my eyes, she hides her go out on the street by herself, and he was robbed. It's ridiculous. Oh, I remember that story too, the Vegas story. We covered that at some point in February. That really wasn't cool as well. Shouldn't Janelle be talking about what rugs do to you? Well, that too. Listen, grooming, rugs, talk about it all, Janelle. She unfortunately has been through all of that, like a mess, right? Like it's sad. And speaking of the rugs, Houston, she started so young. She became a pothead so young. And I find that to be so sad too. Like, some people just, from a young age, you don't really have a good shot at life, it feels like. And I really, really hate that for them. And I think that she falls into that category. And I wish that she had changed the trajectory for her own children. But unfortunately, she has put them through so much, right? With all the CPS stuff, all of the David stuff, the Nathan stuff, everything, and just her own neglect of them, or alleged neglect of them, that I fear that she's put them in a very, very difficult situation themselves as well, as far as the future is concerned. And yeah, I fully agree. Barbara, I don't know if you heard Kelly or anybody else watching, but Barbara
tried to press charges, but I don't remember why that fell through. But yeah, she wanted to file charges and everything about that. And yeah, I believe she said she lied about her age. I don't know. She said that he didn't lie about his age, but I don't know. I find that to be very, very sick. But here's the thing: even if she lied about her age, I feel like when you're pushing 20 years old, why, like, you know the difference between another, teenager that's approaching 20hood and like she's a 13-year-old is not that much different from a 10, 11, 12-year-old, right? Like they're you know that this person just does not look like somebody who's in your age group, like it's so weird and so sad. Hamlet says kids use, they should use her as a life lesson, what not to do, right? Like, it's sad, but that's the case with her. Really, really, really sad, right? And I agree with you, Karma. She looked like a child. She looked like a child. So this, to me, is not a valid excuse. Like, I gotta ask you guys, would you fall for it? Like, if you were on a Facebook or on like a website or an app or something, dating or something, and someone lied about their age, you meet up with them. Like, would you be able to tell if someone is underage, especially if they're only 13 years old? I feel like I'd be able to. Like, no, I think Andrew is a creep and a degenerate. But anyway, I've never done a Jennifer Hudson story here particularly. And I was really surprised when I woke up this morning and I saw this video on my Instagram feed. She and her boyfriend, rapper Common, are they not? Ils se sont fiancés, no? Are they not fiancéed? Are they not engaged? I'm going to look into that. They were courtside at a wonderful basketball game. Everything was going well until a basketball hit her in the head. Take a look at the video.
New York, the leader.
And they call him Deuce. And boy, I tell you, he has been such a positive.
Protect Jennifer Hudson. Protect Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, no, not the glass. Those look real expensive, too, partner.
And Common is making sure everybody's okay.
Let me see what Common did. Did he protect her?
He tried. He actually banged the glass.
No, he did.
Yeah.
No, he
banged the glass. New York, the leader.
And they call him Deuce. And boy, I tell you, he has been such a positive.
Protect Jennifer Hudson. Protect Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, no, not the glass. Those look real expensive, too, partner.
And Common is making sure everybody's okay.
Let me see what Common did. Did he protect her?
He tried. He actually banged the glass.
No, he did.
Yeah.
No, he
banged the glass.
Poor Jennifer. It looked like she got the wind knocked out of her. She's like this, like that little meme of the kid with like the red turtleneck, like that at the end of it. Her glasses are all banged up. I hate that for her. And only one of the NBA players involved in the ball being launched over there checked in on her. I don't know who the other one was, but he's very disrespectful. Like he didn't even like go take a look or anything like that. He just kept going as if it were business as usual. And I found that to be very, very, very disrespectful. Hey, Jen, I'm excited to see you in the Playback Posse and hoping to catch you in the live tomorrow. What was the trend? Oh my God. Tiff says, I laughed and feel bad about this. Why did you laugh? It's so mean. Like it was so like boom, like that must have hurt so much. Like I feel really, really bad for her. And the glasses part, especially like, oh, I can't imagine, especially on like the nose bridge. Karma says, Common is a serial dater. I would be surprised if they got engaged. Well, you know what? When I was looking at the video, that's why I played it twice. Like I didn't see any ring on her. So for now, like she's safe. She's safe, And one thing about Jennifer, I don't think she wants to be married, in which case good for her, because she was engaged for like 50 years to like her ex, David, the guy, the lawyer turned WWE star, right? So I don't think it's her thing either, which fair enough. Listen, if she were to get married, I don't know about marrying Common. Like he's just such a commitment phobe, right? Gigi feels bad for Jennifer. Petty LaBelle says, nope, she'll be all right. Walk it off, right? I'm picturing you saying that. Theo says, poor Jennifer. I hope she didn't get too hurt. Me too. I really like her. She seems like a sweet, nice, positive, bubbly, like loving person. So I hate that. Protect Jennifer Hudson. The commentator was funny. He sure was. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but it looked more like Common dabbed than like protected Jennifer Hudson the way he was supposed to, Theo, I've been meaning to tell you this actually, by the way, since maybe Monday's report. You have a doppelganger.
and I'm going to give you his name in the chat. You need to look this guy up. I should have taken this picture. You look so much to me like, and he's so beloved here in France too. His name is Louis Boyard, and he is a politician. And I think he's like the youngest guy to be elected, you know, as part of like, what is it? What do you call it? Like a mayor of a city? Yeah, to be elected the mayor of a city. He is so, so beloved. And so I was looking at your picture once when I was editing these little TikToks from my videos. I was like, oh my God, he looks just like Louis Boyard. So there you go, Theo. That is, and you know, the funny thing is Theo is part French. I think you've got like French history and stuff. So listen, go run your genealogy, run your tree. You might actually be related to him. And he's adorable. I really, really like him. So that's a huge compliment. I follow him everywhere. Ronnie says protection for Hudson. Yes, I saw that. I know she was embarrassed. Yeah, the poor thing. And she was looking so good too. She was looking so good. Poor Jennifer. Hey, ACSW, I'm about 15 minutes behind. It's hard to be in chat because I'm getting myself and 3 kids. Oh my God, you warrior. Good for you. That's an Olympic sport. Hi. Nice to see you. And I hope to see you in some more episodes. So you guys have gone and looked up Louis Boyard. That's amazing. So you guys see it too. Theo, that is your doppelganger. He's cute, right? He's cute. Theo, that's you. He is so great. Like he is just everything that's right with the world right now. He is amazing. Love him. So it's a huge compliment. And I'm glad you guys agree with it as well. Now, you guys, we are off to our last story of the day. It's a Justin Baldoni update. So the New York Times, they kind of ate a little bit, and they're kind of winning a little bit against them. So Justin Baldoni just suffered a little setback in his lawsuit against them. The New York Times, they didn't completely win, but they suffered a little bit. The New York Times was asking to be removed. Justin Baldoni's team said, nope, not so fast, right? And so the judge kind of like compromised with the New York Times. Instead of full-blown removing them, he has ruled to stay or pause any legal process against them until he decides if they should even be part of the case. Right. And the reason being is that the New York Times says that they shouldn't be sued in the first place. So they've asked to be removed from the lawsuit. The judge thinks that the New York Times has a strong argument towards being removed from the lawsuit and wants to decide on that first before making them go through legal discovery, which is something that Justin Baldoni's team has been trying to subject them to. And so for now, the case against the New York Times is on hold. If the judge later decides that they should still be in the lawsuit, they'll have to go through the legal process and discovery and all of that stuff. So, yeah, there you go, you guys. I asked, by the way, this summary, if it sounds super clear, let me tell you why. I downloaded the PDF. I went to my bestie, ChatGPT. I said, please take a look at this. Explain it to me like I'm 5, because I don't understand. And that's what she came up with. And I love that. She is so concise. And so, yeah, basically that's it, you guys. I asked how long is the hold going to be for? Chat told me that this hold on discovery against the New York Times will last until the judge decides whether to dismiss them from the lawsuit or not. The court intends to review and decide on their motion to dismiss promptly after all arguments are submitted. There is no exact timeline, but these decisions usually take weeks or a few months, depending on how complex the case is. In the meantime, the rest of the lawsuit continues just without the New York Times being involved in discovery for now. So there you go, you guys. That's where he's at in regards to the New York Times. I know that Blake Lively's team asked to be removed as well, but the judge said, no, you're staying. So that's where they all are so far. Okay, you guys. Tiff says, you're glowing today, and I love when you speak French. Thank you, Tiff. Yes. I thought you were hating on me earlier with the Janelle stuff. I was like, oh, no, not a hater. But thank you. You're so nice. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Daryl says, I think that Gypsy Rose should sit down with Donald Trump. Do you really? Okay, I wonder what they'll talk about and stuff. Listen, there you go. There you go, you guys. And Theo, I'm glad. Do you see it too? I hope you saw it too, you know. Guys, I can't believe it. We just finished another episode of the Morning Report. That was so fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm actually about to go ahead and film a recap from that last episode of Teen Mom Next Chapter, and then go get my muscles relaxed. So stay on the lookout for that. That recap should come out later today, okay, you guys? So keep a good eye out. Dino! We just finished. I'm sorry. I think you're going to have to join the Playback Posse, but we do go live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're available tomorrow, come by at 10 a.m. Go to the live tab on my YouTube channel, hit the bell because it's already pre-programmed. Okay, you guys? Theo, you're killing me. Guys, thank you so much for being here, you guys. And I'll see you again tomorrow for more hot stories. Take good care of yourselves. And by the way, for those of you who are not able to watch and you're doing things or you're in the car or whatever, I do put this in podcast form on Spotify. So keep an eye out for that as well. Take care, you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.